If courage is a currency, then Barrow Hill bankrupts even the bravest souls. You might think you felt fear, standing on the edge of a cliff, hearing an unexplained noise in the dark of night. But what would you do if the abyss stared back? Welcome to the Nightside Archive, where shadows have stories, and dread is our common thread. Tonight I share with you the shiver at Barrow Hill. Let's begin with what you need to know about this place. Barrow Hill isn't just another forgotten hamlet. Hidden deep in the rolling, fogged-over countryside, it's a hollow village where nothing adds up. Maps don't list it. Locals in the nearest towns refuse to talk about it, and the few travelers who stumble across its cobbled lanes rarely come back unchanged, if at all. It began with the first disappearance. In January 1962, a postal worker named James Glixton biked to Barrow Hill to deliver a package. The next morning, his bike was discovered propped neatly against an oak tree at the village entrance. His cap hung on the handlebar, and the package, undelivered, lay on the seat. James Glixton himself. Nowhere to be found. But his story rippled through the nearby towns. The authorities scoured the area, but all they found were empty streets and stillness. Later reports emerged, whispers of strange lights glowing faintly behind fogged windows, distant humming that didn't belong to any earthly tone, and the feeling of countless unseen eyes boring into your back at every turn. Oh, but the intrigue didn't stop there. Decades passed and missing persons became almost expected. An adventurous journalist, a hiker, even a dog walker, and his loyal shepherd, all vanished within the honeycomb of abandoned homes and overgrown gardens. Each case eerily similar, personal belongings left behind in eerie neatness, as if the ground itself had swallowed them whole in one deliberate gulp. Yet no one dared follow rumors, no one except Tom Larden. Tom wasn't like the others. He came prepared. Armed with a trusty flashlight and a tape recorder, his plan was simple: enter Barrow Hill, investigate, and bust the myths wide open. He was brave, cunning, a true skeptic. As for what happened to Tom, no one truly knows. His recordings, however, do exist, found clutched in his mud-streaked pack just outside the village. Creepy, isn't it? Listen carefully to part of his recording. It starts with his breath, the uneven kind that someone usually reserves for either exhaustion or deep unease. I've reached Barrow Hill. Streets are silent. Gotta say, there's this smell. Sweet, but not in a nice way. Another few footsteps crunch, then stop cold. There's a house up ahead, windows clouded, porch swings moving, but there's no wind. His tone sharpens, caught somewhere between wonder and terror. God, it's so quiet. Even the birds. Nothing. The tape cuts out for a moment, and the next snippet is unnervingly violent. A scuffle, sounds of breaking branches and gasps of terror. Then his voice, frantic this time. I can see them, faceless silhouettes, no, moving wrong. It's easy to dismiss anecdotal tales as hysteria or creative embellishments, but the faceless, more than one survivor has mentioned them. Imagine a figure made of shadows, void-like but human in height and limb, with no defining features beyond smooth, unnatural movement. They make no sound when they draw near. The faceless don't chase you per se, but it's the sheer weight of their invisibly focused intent that renders their victims paralyzed, long enough for them to close that final distance. By 1989, interest in Barrow Hill waned. It wasn't just the vanishing people anymore. Even seasoned paranormal investigators began to steer clear. Cameras short-circuited, phones failed, almost as if technology itself feared the place. Then came the story of Wendy Durnham, a budding archaeologist who ventured there after reports of ancient hidden burial mounds. When neighbors trekked into the mists searching for her, her tent was in perfect order, with supplies untouched. But the mound she had examined, a curious ring of earth overrun with bleached thorn bushes, seemed wider than when others had seen it before, almost as if it had been breathing. Today, Barrow Hill remains under the same dense shroud it's always worn. Curious wanderers avoid it, and residents in neighboring regions still keep their distance. Some villagers recount nightmares, dreams of being lost in mazes of narrow cobbled streets that shift underfoot. Even in sleep, Barrow Hill's pull lingers. Officially, there's been no satisfying conclusion, and unofficially, each answer only fractures into more questions. What compels people to enter? Why never any bodies, any true traces? Where did the first villagers go? And why does none of their history exist in records preceding the 20th century? Perhaps James Glixton's untouched bike was the first ominous breadcrumb. Or perhaps an even older, darker mechanism has been feeding for centuries below the silence. A final word of warning: if you find yourself near Barrow Hill, do not enter. If the Faceless don't find you, the darkness might. But for now, we leave Barrow Hill locked in its mystery, sealed beneath heavy fog and hushed whispers. Until next time, brave souls, keep your lanterns close and your hearts steady.